What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some pretty exciting Destiny 2 Beyond Light news. So, of course it is Thursday, and we have This Week at Bungie. We get a whole bunch of patch note previews for the update that we'll be seeing next Tuesday, so some pretty important stuff there, as well as previews for vendors, changes, and the addition of exotic kiosks. They give us information about the preload, all of the downtime and maintenance, and there is a pretty curious mystery kind of ARG taking place at the moment, which we'll touch on briefly as well. So, guys, I hope you enjoy the video as always, and if you do, a rating below really helps me out. But now let's get into it. First thing that we should mention today, there is a mysterious ARG going on at the moment. We spoke a few days ago about the Analyze Bungie website and the codes that were hidden inside of the Collector's Edition for Beyond Light. And the ARG is continuing right now. Players who've got the Collector's Edition are able to access a GIF via the Analyze page, and this has a hidden code when open in text format. And a bunch of the folks over at Raid Secrets, of course, the very clever folks, and other folks in the community, are trying to figure out exactly what the hidden info within this puzzle is going to be. And there is speculation at the moment, of course, that this could be linked to the end of season, and maybe trigger an end of season event, or perhaps something more minor. Yeah, for the moment we don't have a ton of info, but I will be sure to keep you posted. Into the TWAP section though, we start getting patch note previews and some additional info about changes to vendors, as well as the new kiosks. So first up, they do share the roadmap for Beyond Light and Season of the Hun. This is something we spoke about a couple of days ago. You can check that out in more detail in the TWAB, but here they speak about archives and they say, beginning November 10th, 2 new kiosks will be available in the tower. And so first up, the quest archive will be found next to the postmaster. And the hope is that this removes some of the confusion when trying to track down the odd quests that you've previously discarded. Additionally, this is going to be the place for any veteran players to pick up the new light quest on November 10th, and if they have a strong desire to experience new player tutorials or the reintroduction to the Cosmodrome. And so that's the kind of new quest tab, but additionally, there will be the Monument to Lost Lights exotic archive, and this will be found by the Vault. We can see how it appears right here in game. And here players may acquire various exotics and legendary or pinnacle pursuit weapons that were once available through now retired quests. And as many of these exotics were tied to lengthy quests or difficult objectives, we wanted to make sure their prices reflect those previous efforts. So players will need an amount of glimmer, destination materials, masterworking materials, and an exotic cipher or ascendant shard in order to purchase the exotic or legendary. But they're also introducing a currency, Spoils of Conquest, which can only be acquired when completing raids, and this currency will be required for exotics previously tied to vaulted raids. So pretty interesting right there. The costs to acquire old pinnacles and stuff is going to be pretty expensive, but also, if it's a raid item, you essentially still have to acquire a currency from an active raid in the game before you could pick up something like Tarabat or Anarchy, right? So that's an interesting element. Let us know what you think about that. But those are 2 of the new kiosks, but of course, with that additional focus on exotic ciphers, Bungie have said that they were previously limited in nature. And while you can expect one to be available as part of the Season Pass, Xur will also offer a quest to earn 1 more exotic cipher on a weekly cadence. So a bit of a change to Xur there as well, which will be positive in general for the game. Give us your thoughts about all of those down below, guys. Here though, they get into the more traditional patch notes, as they call them, for the update dropping next Tuesday. So for Crucible and Trials of Osiris, the power level requirement has been increased to 1210. But also they've added adept weapons and weapon mods to flawless chest rewards. And then for maps, they've added physics blockers to some out of bounds areas in Altar of Flame, Exodus Blue, and Cauldron. So just a couple of patch notes for Crucible there. But for player identity, login screens have now got a dark background. They've updated the full screen menus to have a dark background style as well. But player waypoints now display season rank, HUD waypoints, and then they've added toggle functionality to the character screen, allowing the player to make the choice between light and dark subclasses. And those visuals have been updated depending on the player choice between light and dark, so that's pretty interesting. And additionally for character creation, they've changed selection from male and female to masculine and feminine. And then Guardian head and hair models have been replaced with improved versions, and several color swatches have been changed to better represent the applied color, as well as players' previous head selections still being used. So we should see a minor update to the general appearance of that. But we do have some miscellaneous fixes. So they fixed a bug that prevented online friends from showing up in the roster on Stadia, one that occasionally prevented players from earning progress on bounties when joining an activity, and this most notably impacted Iron Banner bounties and could cause players to have their artifact power bonus enabled during Iron Banner matches. So some more general fixes right there. And then they get into some additional sandbox changes here. So for Travelers Chosen, they've reduced muzzle flash intensity. Shouldn't be quite as obnoxious. For Point of the Stag though, they've increased its max power level to 1310. Obviously that's still going to be featured. For Divinity though, they fixed a bug that prevented some weapons from dealing precision damage, and that included Eriana's Vow. And then we have Hunter Dodge, where they've increased the dodge cooldown by a few seconds. So tier 4, the old cooldown would have been 22 seconds, but the new cooldown would be 26 seconds. Gonna take a bit longer there. But for anti-champion mods, barrier rounds will now penetrate taken phalanx shields. That's an additional kind of bonus that I think is pretty cool. And all anti-champion mods have been shifted to armor rather than taking a weapon slot. But additionally, orbs of light have been changed to orbs of power and can now be consumed by light and dark subclasses. So those are the sandbox changes right there, guys. Of course, we are going to get the full patch notes on Tuesday when the update actually drops. And if you are going to be missing those spicy ramen coupons we've been holding for a little while, they have given us a nice 4K wallpaper that you can download if you like. Also in the TWAB, they do have some new stuff that they're going to have inside of the Bungie store. You can spot some of that on screen. Some pretty cool soundtracks as well in vinyl format. And we've got new Europa boots as well as the Drifter statue in the TWAB. And then some exclusive emblems for the store as well. But here, we get into the important timing for update 3.0.01. And next Monday, maintenance for that update will begin. So on November 9th at 3:30 PM PST, which is 11:30 UTC, background maintenance for the update will begin. At 6:50 PM PST, which is 2:50 AM UTC, sign on for Destiny 2 is going to be disabled. And at 9 AM PST on November 10th, players will be able to log back into Destiny 2 with the update available across all platforms. In terms of specific sizes here, they say these will be the updated storage requirements for Beyond Light. So for Xbox Series X and S, the install size is 65.7 gigabytes, and you need the same amount of space to actually do the install. For PS5, it's going to be 70 gigabytes, just over 70. Same thing on PlayStation 4, but on PS5 you only need the 70 gig available to actually do the install. And then on PlayStation 4, we have the whole copying thing, so you actually need 171 gig free in order to do the 70 gig install. But for a normal Xbox One, we've got 65.7 gig, and then the PC version, 69.7 gig. But the required storage space will be 186 gig in total, and they say the PC includes the current installed version of D2 and the update. So it is working a little bit differently on different platforms there, but it gives us a bit of an idea of what we're actually going to have to download. They say for Xbox Preload, it will be available shortly after D2 is taken offline for expected maintenance at 7 PM on November 9th. And that's 3 AM UTC. They're anticipating the same thing for PC, so once again 7 PM PST. But for PlayStation, beginning on November 8th, after 8 PM PST, users should be able to start pre-downloading the update. The Bungie actually giving players on PlayStation a little bit longer, which is definitely a positive. So give us your thoughts in the comment section, guys, about all those bits and bobs from the TWAB, the patch note previews, the preload, and your anticipation for next Tuesday. For now though, guys, that's everything we have to talk about in this video, so as always, I hope you have enjoyed this one. If you have, a like rating is very much appreciated, and be sure to get subscribed so I can keep you posted on the world of Destiny 2. But otherwise, for now, I hope you guys have an awesome day.